Hello and welcome to Eyewitness Report. I'm Yomi Otaigbe. This week's edition of the program focuses on flood in Kogi State, how much it has devastated coastline communities, leaving many homeless. We also return to the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway with an update on how the reconstruction work on the Kara axis is affecting motorists and residents. These and more shortly. Motorists traveling between Magboro and Kara end of the inbound section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway have been experiencing bouts of gridlock as rehabilitation work continues. Following eyewitness pictures, Channels Television was out on the road to monitor the situation, which is regarded as the worst in recent days.
An aerial view of the gridlock stretching from Magboro, Arepo, Warewa and through the Long Bridge to Kara end of the inbound section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. From moments of standstill to a very slow movement.
The traffic now is 10.
Travelers and motorists lament the gridlock lasting for over 6 hours for a driving distance of 10 minutes or less.
Since 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. Look at time now. This after 10. Inside this traffic, unbearable.
It's about the worst experience for motorists plying this route, leading to loss of man hours and energy that should be channeled to productive purposes.
Please, we are not okay with this traffic. It is getting too much.
Since 4 a.m. we left home today.
Mr. Pius Asakome, who should have dropped his children at school since 8 a.m., is held in the gridlock as at 10:25 a.m.
Yes, 4 a.m. we left home today.
Wow,
we are still here
almost
at
like 10 a.m.
Yes.
Wow.
And we are still here. They are going to school. You can see them.
So is this a daily occurrence for you?
It's almost a daily occurrence now. Since the beginning of this construction, this is what we are going through. We know it's a good thing to construct roads, but what we are going through now, I think the government should have done something else. Maybe on this, they make it motorable. And the other side motorable so that we can apply those places too.
It's different strokes for different folks, but same experience.
I've spent over 5 hours on this road.
From where?
I entered it all the way from Magboro. Wow. I'm telling you, and I'm still going to Aja.
5 hours. 5 hours. We have been on traffic. 5 hours. 6 hours.
Those who choose to go through alternative routes created to avoid a traffic jam are uncertain about what lies ahead of them, as in this case where several vehicles are struck in a swampy bypass. Drivers struggle to get their vehicles past through the muddy waters occasioned by an overflow from heavy rains. Channels Television observes how some youths demand money from motorists to help push their trapped vehicles out. The chaotic traffic jam requires officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) to come up with strategies to manage it. At some points on the bridge, vehicles on the 4-lane carriageway are reduced to 2 lanes to ease navigation around the bottleneck.
The managers of the traffic have a better understanding on how they feel we can ease the movement of the traffic as against what it used to be. It's a trial that if there are people that need to make U-turn and you create a separate space for them rather than obstructing the movement of those that are going ahead, you could have a better management of the traffic. Or alternatively, if vehicles are coming with about 4 lanes, that has to be narrowed down to 2 lanes by virtue of the construction that is going on. It could also be an, a kind of innovation to see, let us try this aspect of road management, whether it will be better. Whatever the FRSC men must have put in place in terms of traffic management is still a further effort to try and ease out the traffic. That's just what the effort we are trying to work with. On a daily basis, we try to see what we can do as an innovation to still reduce the pressure that people are passing through.
Movement on the outward section is swift, but driving against traffic has become a norm, especially for commercial motorcycle riders known as Okada. Despite the presence of traffic managers and security personnel on various sections of the road, some vehicles, especially those with uniformed men in a convoy, also drive against traffic.
Come this side, Janet.
We asked the Lagos Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) whether this is an outcome of preferential treatment for a particular class of people or a challenge of inadequate personnel to check such offences.
When it comes to infractions that involve emergency signals, it might be difficult for us as an operative or as an establishment to checkmate that. Because anything that has to do with emergency, it's either it has to do with crime being checkmated or lives being saved. And it could be somehow difficult at the same time for us to stop such convoy to cross-check whether it falls between these categories. So what we'll do under these circumstances is, rather than creating further problem, we try to manage the situation. And because there are a series of reports from members of the public as regards this, we've also communicated the various acts of all other agencies who have been indicted one way or the other, having the belief that definitely is going to be checkmated, at least from where we know that the gridlock is being managed. If you are patient, you might not be spending more than 1 hour. But when there's a total blockage, by virtue of the act of one or few members of the public that are making use of the road, we end up creating more problems for the operatives and for ourselves. And we should always appreciate the fact that any problem that is being created along this corridor has a lot to do with somebody's health or lives.
The gridlock on the Kara-Long Bridge section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway may remain as long as rehabilitation lasts. While motorists bear the pain, They're appealing to the Federal Ministry of Works and the contractor handling the project, which is Julius Berger, to speed up the work towards its completion.
At least 29 people had their lives cut short after a petrol tanker driver lost control and rammed into passers-by and roadside traders in Ankpa local government area of Kogi State in north-central region of Nigeria.
Property including cars and motorcycles lie in ruins after a petrol-laden tanker lost control due to brake failure, exploding and ramming into other vehicles and pedestrians in Kogi East. According to eyewitnesses, the tanker had brake failure from a descending position and exploded on the Manolo Bridge. After news of the incident reached the state government, some top government functionaries led by the Chief of Staff to the governor arrived to assess the situation. The delegation is taken around the scene by the local government chairman, who confirms the number of deaths.
The accident happened, and here is the scene of the accident. The lorry came in from Oshilobi. That is the long stretch of a slope we have in Ankpa local government here. It failed brakes. As it's coming, it started killing people from the junction and Apache junctions till this point. Between there and here, we had about 10, 11, 12 people. At this very particular scene where the car he hit, the Okadas and others that he parked, they all fell down and they went into flames. That is about 12, 15 again. All the death was about 29 and 2 injured are in the hospitals.
Addressing residents, the Chief of Staff to the Governor directs the State Ministry of Works and Housing to undertake a precautionary and safety measure to forestall the recurrence.
When we were addressing the traditional rulers at the Secretariat, we did admonish them to conscientize, especially the Chief Security Officer of the local government, the chairman, to orientate the commuters, the users of road, on how to avoid situations like this. I think coming here to witness this area where the accidents happen, the first point of approach, whether the road belongs to federal government or state government, it doesn't matter. What matters here is that the people living here are human beings, they are citizens of Kogi State, and their life matter to us. I think returning back to Lokoja, we are going to immediately commission the Ministry of Works and Housing to make sure that we introduce speed bumps here, such that even if this scenario is to happen, they will be able to, the speed bump will be able to serve as a barrier for the truck, such that it won't be able to fall down and then have to burn people like this, as we have witnessed here.
A member of the State House of Assembly attributes the incident to lack of implementation of appropriate laws.
Well, it's most unfortunate that this has happened again in Ankpa local government. One thing is to make law, and the other one is to implement the law. We understand and we have directed severally for vehicles of this nation not to pass through the main town. If you go to Intalona, at the entrance of Ankpa local government, you see the barricade there, done by the former administrator of Ankpa local government. And if you go to the exit of Olamaboro, so also it was introduced. So that if you are bringing in lorries, you are expected to pass through the bypass at Upulega, so that you descend so low to that Olamaboro road, then connect COE road back to Ankpa. So as you are coming in, it's like as if you are coming up. So that even if there's a brake failure, you will be able to manage it.
One can notice the accident occurred on the path notorious for accidents, owing to the deplorable condition of the roads. To avert a recurrence, one expects relevant authorities to exercise their responsibility and take action towards fixing the road.
Welcome back. Still in Kogi State, residents of communities in 10 local government areas, including Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, and confluence of rivers Niger and Benue, are battling to secure lives and properties as the rivers continue to overflow their banks into homes and farmlands.
For weeks, canoeing has been the only transport option for residents in lowland communities who have to leave their homes and cross a large body of water in order to access the main road, where they can get faster means of transport to work and other destinations within Lokoja, the capital of Kogi State. The Ganaja Road, which leads to the eastern part of the country, has been submerged, making it difficult for vehicular movement. Canoes are also used to navigate streets within the neighborhood. Residents have been forced out of their homes, property and farmland submerged by the overflow of the river. The overflow of the River Niger comes as a surprise to many residents who did not expect any flooding this year. Those living on lowland and riverbanks are mostly affected.
It was than that of 2012, as it is now. Because by 2012, I came here with my cameras too to cover what was going on. It wasn't this bad. It wasn't this bad. This is worse than that of 2012. By my own judgment. It's not easy to count, so because one, there are several areas the thing did not enter 2012 that it has entered. And there are several areas now that I cannot even approach. Coming towards this side, I took a look at the Confluence Beach Hotel, which is one of the largest hotels owned by state government. It's completely submerged. 2012, yes, it covered a bit of it, but this time around it's even worse. So it's not easy to count, except you take your time to do a survey. As it is, this is beyond the state government. There's no doubt about that. And even federal government, under this emergency situation, except to evacuate people from here to the hinterland, I don't think there's anything anywhere. Because as it is, it's like the thing is still coming. Between day before yesterday and today, the surge, is much more.
Canoe offers the only means for some state government officials to get to the affected communities. They are here to assess the level of damage caused by the flood. The Kogi State Commissioner for Environment explains what the state government is doing to manage what appears to be a humanitarian crisis.
We have activities, like I said the other time, that has to do with before, during and after. And so what we are currently experiencing is the during flooding. And what are the activities? The activities simply are to ensure that we relocate the affected people, the victims of this flooding, to a higher ground, to a safety place. And so the government has prepared what is called IDP camps. We have prepared what is called hostels for the victims, so that because already a lot of sensitization, a lot of awareness campaign has been given to them, and at the moment they experienced this, they should be able to relocate to a higher ground. And for the victims who are not being able to, that's why we are telling them to, as quickly as possible, get to these camps that we have already prepared, the hostels that we already prepared that can accommodate thousands of them. Don't forget the fact that already the water that is coming is not just from Kogi State. You have Benue, River Niger and Benue coming together to form a confluence in Kogi State. And equally you have releases of dam from Shiroro, from Kanji Dam, from Jeba. And so by the time these waters is being released, definitely it will have an adverse effect on the water course. And so Kogi State will always experience this because you have the coming together of two rivers.
A drive through the town further reveals buildings of heights almost or completely covered by water. Those who are lucky yet to be affected have to relocate to safer places before it gets to them. The natural disaster presents a difficult situation for residents and the state government to deal with.
It's devastating. It's already a natural disaster. And that's why we are calling on the federal government agencies, international agencies to quickly come to our aid by ensuring that they come to the aids of the victims of this flood. As you can see, these are roofs already submerged. If you go to Adankolo, you have over 500 houses already submerged. If you go towards Kabawa, you have hundreds of houses already submerged. So the people there have already been thrown into a lot of confusion. Some are on top of their roof, they can't even come down. So it's a very serious scenario. And that's why we are calling on the federal government agencies, international agencies to quickly come to our aid. On our part, as the Ministry of Information and Communication, we are working very closely with the Ministry of Environment and SEMA to sensitize our people between the comfort and the attachment you have to your homes and safety. You should choose safety first. So when you are affected by this natural disaster, you have to move to where it's safe. And that's why the state government had already provided IDP for people that are affected to move there. And we are going to look into quite more holistic approaches that we can use to lay this to a permanent rest at the end of the day.
A senior citizen who once witnessed a similar situation years ago believes lessons should have been learned from the past. He gives candid advice.
The best thing is to do bridge here. Without a bridge, there is no solution to this area. We need a bridge, overhead bridge, before this place can be taken over. If not, anything they do, even they raise them, it will be in vain. See this house. It's an upstairs. The water have covered it already. And if they raise the bridge here, they can help the east people from Port Harcourt, Enugu, other places to Igala land. We cannot pass because of this situation.
10 local governments are affected by the overflow. The situation is not getting any better as the water keeps rising. While those affected expect the state government response to the plight, they also call on the federal government and international bodies for assistance.
Eyewitness Report program enables you to participate in telling stories that affect your community. With your mobile devices, you can capture activities around you and upload them on our Eyewitness portal on the channel's TV app. As soon as we get them, we begin the process of following up to report news that may compel relevant authorities to attend to your community's need. That's it on this edition of the program. See you again next week. I am Yomi Otaigbe.